October 7, 2023, will forever be etched in history as a day of unimaginable horror in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Hamas militants launched a large-scale surprise attack against Israel, penetrating the border and targeting civilians and military installations alike. The attacks, characterized by their brutality and disregard for human life, left a trail of devastation across Israeli towns and cities. The scale and ferocity of the assault shocked the world. Gunmen stormed into homes, killing families celebrating the Jewish holiday of Simchat Torah. Eyewitness accounts described scenes of unimaginable carnage, with bodies strewn across streets and desperate pleas for help echoing through the air. The attacks represented a significant escalation in the conflict, pushing the region to the brink of a full-scale war. The international community watched in horror as the death toll climbed rapidly. Governments around the world condemned the attacks, expressing solidarity with Israel and calling for an immediate end to the violence. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting, but failed to agree on a joint statement due to disagreements over language condemning Hamas. As darkness fell on October 7th, the full extent of the devastation became horrifyingly clear. Hundreds lay dead, and thousands more were injured. The attacks left an indelible scar on the Israeli psyche, shattering any illusion of security and fueling a deep-seated desire for retribution. The events of that day would have far-reaching consequences, setting in motion a chain of events that would further escalate the conflict and plunge the region deeper into chaos. In the aftermath of the October 7th attacks, human rights organizations launched investigations into potential war crimes committed by both sides. Human Rights Watch, a leading international NGO, conducted an extensive investigation, interviewing witnesses, collecting physical evidence, and analyzing satellite imagery. Their findings, released in a detailed report, painted a grim picture of the violence. The HRW report documented numerous cases of extrajudicial killings, indiscriminate attacks on civilian areas, and the use of human shields by Hamas militants. The report provided chilling details of the atrocities committed against Israeli civilians, including the execution-style killings of families in their homes and the abduction of women and children. The report also highlighted the indiscriminate firing of rockets by Hamas into Israeli population centers, causing widespread fear and casualties. The report's findings sent shockwaves through the international community. The detailed accounts of atrocities, corroborated by eyewitness testimonies and forensic evidence, left little doubt about the severity of the crimes committed. The report called for accountability for those responsible, urging both Israeli and Palestinian authorities to conduct thorough and impartial investigations. The HRW report served as a stark reminder of the human cost of the conflict. It highlighted the urgent need for international action to protect civilians, ensure accountability for war crimes, and work towards a just and lasting peace in the region. The report's findings would become a focal point of international discussions and diplomatic efforts, shaping the world's response to the escalating conflict. The HRW report was bolstered by harrowing eyewitness testimonies from survivors of the October 7th attacks. These first-hand accounts provided chilling details of the violence, putting a human face on the statistics and exposing the brutality of the conflict. Survivors recounted scenes of unimaginable terror, describing how their lives were irrevocably altered in a matter of minutes. One survivor, a young mother, described hiding in a closet with her children as gunmen rampaged through their home, killing her husband and parents. Another, an elderly man, recounted witnessing the execution-style killing of his neighbors, their bodies left lying in the street. These testimonies, filled with grief, anger, and a profound sense of loss, painted a vivid picture of the human toll of the conflict. The testimonies also highlighted the indiscriminate nature of the violence. Civilians, including children, the elderly, and people with disabilities, were not spared. The attacks left deep psychological scars on survivors, many of whom lost loved ones, homes, and their sense of security. Their stories served as a powerful reminder of the devastating impact of the conflict on ordinary people. The voices of survivors, amplified by the HRW report, helped to galvanize international attention and outrage. Their stories put pressure on world leaders to take concrete steps to address the root causes of the conflict and prevent further bloodshed. The testimonies served as a stark reminder that behind the headlines and political rhetoric lay real human lives shattered by violence and displacement.